I'm going to show you how you can get massive amounts of traffic from programmatic SEO, also known as PSEO. PSEO is a strategy that a lot of large websites have used in the past, and now it's available to people like you and me due to the advent of AI. In this video, we're going to talk about the pitfalls to avoid, what we're doing with it right now, other things we're doing with AI SEO in addition to PSEO, prompts that we're using as well, and we're also going to give you a good sense for our workflow. That being said, stay to the very end. We're going to have some surprises for you as well. When you think about programmatic SEO, it's scaling high intent keywords where people are more likely to convert. Here's an example of the best restaurants near Rome. This was a programmatically generated page by Yelp. And you can see it's just a listing of the pages that they have, and you can kind of click around. Again, it's not a new strategy, but it was limited to companies that had more resources in the last decade or so. Now that is available to you. So if you think about it, let's say you have the biggest laundromat company in the United States. Well, now you can target every single location and you can make these pages. It's almost like you are plastering every single paid keyword, and then you can also retarget those people as well. The question is, how could someone like you and me do this a decade ago? Well, it wasn't really practical, because if we're going to generate thousands and thousands of pages, you just don't have the bandwidth to do so because it became cost prohibitive. So that's the benefit of AI. It brings the costs of creation down. Here's another example over here for things to do in Japan. So this is done by TripAdvisor. And so you can see for this one, Japan, they have popular things to do, popular cities in Japan, top attractions. So this is all done programmatically. It's not like a human being is coming in here and making every single page. Now, can they enhance these pages? Absolutely. That's why you stay to the very end. We're going to show you how we're enhancing these pages at scale, because again, you have different cities, okay? You have different regions as well, and there's just a lot to pull from. This is why websites like this drive millions and millions of visits per month. And that's how they drive the bulk of their revenue. A lot of it comes from organic search. Sure, they spend a lot of money on paid, but SEO is one of the strong foundations for them. And I strongly believe that a lot more people are going to be doing this for the next year or two, and then SEO is going to change fundamentally. Now, I'm going to show you how we're doing this, for example, for my ad agency, Single Grain. Let's say we want to rank for the keyword CRO services. And so what we're doing for this page is we are designing a template for the page. So you can see it's not a ho-hum page. We're adding in trust signals here as well to help increase conversions. And then we have our call to action to work with us. So this is what this page looks like. Conversion rates are pretty decent. And what I would also say here is when you look at the content blocks that we have, it's generated by AI. And we are also making sure that the humans are fact checking the content, and we're also potentially adding to the content or removing. And so you can see when you read this page, it doesn't look like it is completely generated by a computer. Based on whatever the page is talking about, we are going to look for content that we're putting out, because I have my podcast marketing school, I have my Leveling Up podcast, I have my YouTube channel as well. And we are going to scan the page, we'll say, okay, based on this page, what's the most relevant content that Eric's put out in the last 90 days? That would be an example. And so in this situation, it's not the most relevant thing, but at least you can see this is another trust signal here that we're putting out content. You can see on this page, we have case studies as well. So because we understand that someone that's searching for CRO services or CRO agency, they probably want to have a sense for, okay, who have you actually worked with? What kind of results have you actually brought? And also, can the FAQ address some of the objections that they have? And then we'll talk about our growth methodology. We'll add in our testimonials as well, then our credentials, and then also we'll add some actual testimonials as well. And then we'll add a call to action at the end. So that's what it looks like. It's a very simple page. What I would recommend is that you don't put out thousands of pages at once, especially if you're a brand new website. What you want to do is you want to focus on, maybe you're putting out 10 per day, 20 per day. And as it's working on scaling up, then you can start to scale up your pages. If you're a site that's been around longer, you can push it a little more aggressively. And just remember that ultimately you are creating pages for human beings, and you want to be sure that you are creating value, because Google in its guidelines, maybe 2 years ago, they said that, hey, we have a problem with AI content. They've actually adjusted those guidelines and said, hey, as long as it helps human beings, we are good with it. If you think about it, if the house that you're in right now, if it's built by human beings or if it's built by robots, do you actually care at the end of the day? As long as it does the job, that's what matters. So make sure that your page is delivering, it's doing the job at the end of the day, or else you're going to get into some trouble. This is a section that we're testing on our website where you can see we've already gained 1.71 million impressions on it. The graph is continuing to go up and to the right. And this PSEO stuff, it takes time to compound over time. And we're testing on different sections on our website as well. But my point here is that you should just think about getting started now. If there are a lot of high intent keywords you can go after that are maybe different permutations of the type of service you provide. So you can go by city, you can go by state, things like that, then you should consider doing it. And you can also go for the quality level, best or cheap if you provide cheap services, right? It just all depends on what it is that you offer. So what you need to do in the beginning is you need to create a keyword map of all the different pages, all the different permutations that you want to go after. And you can use a simple tool like Ahrefs to do it. You can use a tool like SEMrush to do it. Love those. You can check all those out. And it's on you at the end of the day to map it out and then export whatever you think makes the most sense. And then you can also look at keyword difficulty as well. And then what I like to do is I like to look at my domain rating. So let's say my domain rating is 80 right now for Single Grain. Well, I might look for keywords that are keyword difficulties in the score of 60 or below, because if my domain rating is higher, that means I can try to push for keywords that are higher difficulty, right? And the good thing about this is when you're going for these long tail keywords, there isn't necessarily a lot of competition right now because not a lot of people are doing this PSEO thing. Now, you're different because you're watching this. So I would say that it's worth it to do the keyword research. Then you can start to map out the templates or the pages that you like. By the way, speaking of Single Grain, if you needed help with any of this stuff on the marketing side, from an SEO, paid media, CRO standpoint, you can just go to singlegrain.com. That's the type of stuff that we help with. So let us continue. This is the prompt that we use to create these pages programmatically. And so you can see here, it says, you are a seasoned SEO copywriter, adept at crafting page titles for digital marketing agency, tailored to mid-market companies and larger enterprises. Titles should exude a professional tone, be SEO friendly, and crucially incorporate the entire provided keyword, stick to this structure. And so this is the prompt that we use. Now, am I saying this prompt is perfect? No. As a matter of fact, I'm re-looking at this one right now, and I would like to actually change it. If we can improve the prompt, if we can improve the inputs, our outputs are going to get better. And so there's a lot more inputs that I can put in to continue to optimize this prompt. That's what it is at the end of the day. So this is what our prompt looks like. So we also say, for inspiration, reference these exemplary titles. And we could also link to URLs that we really like, the URLs that are top performers, and say, make it like these because these are the top performers for us. And then what you can do is you can have a prompt that optimizes on this prompt and say, hey, continue to optimize this page, continue to update this page based on new content that we're putting out. Or what else we can do on this page? We can make sure that the logos that we're putting on this page, the different customers that we worked with, for example, this page is only talking about e-commerce. All the logos here should only show e-commerce. And that is an example of what we call programmatic CRO, or programmatic conversion rate optimization. Because now that you're building these pages at scale, you are now also not only doing SEO at scale, you are now also doing CRO at scale. So that is another thing. Now, so you've seen the prompt over here. What I want to also call out is you are going to have quality control issues. So imagine if you put out thousands of these pages, what do you think is going to happen? Thousands of them are going to be low quality, especially the longer tail keywords. The longer tail they are, the more they're just not going to be that interesting. And that's just what we found based on a lot of testing. So we've had to delete a lot of these pages. And the issue you're going to run into is if you're going to scale a lot of pages, you also have to quality control or QC a lot of these pages, which is what we're doing now. We're actually building a tool internally to help us quality control these pages. And we're basically creating our own internal quality score. Plus, we're also looking at the pages that have performed really well from a traffic and conversion standpoint. And we're trying to take those elements from those pages and basically integrate them into the algorithm that we're building. From a personalization standpoint, that is something we can integrate later when you think about customer data platforms where we're able to figure out who's coming to our site. For example, we use HubSpot, that's our CRM. HubSpot just bought Clearbit. Clearbit is a data provider. So now we're going to be able to enrich a lot of IP addresses that are visiting our website. Plus there's other B2B tools out there that will basically show you which IP addresses are visiting your website. And well, if all of a sudden this says CRO services for Coca-Cola, for example, how likely is that to increase the conversion rate? It's pretty likely that it's going to increase it. Maybe it might be by 5%, maybe it might be by 10% or so. But if you start to add up these singles at the end of the day, instead of hitting the home runs every time, start to add up the singles, they are going to add up and you are going to get significant bumps in your conversion rate over time. Now, what else I would also say here is that you have to think about your internal linking structure here. This is how we're handling internal linking right now. What I would say is it's not where I would like it to be. I would like there to be breadcrumbs up here somewhere where they're linking to the primary mothership page. And so this is an example of here, digital marketing agency services. Because again, if you're creating a lot of these pages, you want to make it easy for the search spiders to find these other pages. And what better way to do it than to have strong internal linking? And so you can see here, we have a lot of these different service pages over here. All the pages that we made, we do this work. So when you think about LinkedIn ads agency, Facebook agency partner, Facebook ad management agency, these are services that we actually deliver on. So we don't try to create a bunch of things that we can't do, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we're servicing what we can service. By the way, if you click on the description, there should be a link to our newsletter. We send out a couple times a week on the latest in marketing. We create a lot of content around marketing and business. You can check it out. It's completely free. There's a lot of people that are on that list, people from Amazon, people from Google, people from Samsung. So you can check it out. I believe it should be in the description below. So go and do that. The other piece I'll say is that the Marketing School podcast, we use a tool called Riverside.fm. In fact, I'm recording on Riverside FM right now, and I think it's a great tool. And the reason it's such a great tool too is that it gives you a transcript. So you can see this is my podcast co-host, Neil, and it's myself. And we get an automatic AI generated transcript. We load it into like a Google Bard or a ChatGPT, and we just ask it to help us create a blog post with a nice headline and a couple of headers, and it will break it down. And when we run it through a duplicate content checker, we use Hugging Face, 96% of it is deemed as real, aka not written by a machine. And the beauty of that is because the transcription itself is taken from two people talking, that content is already inherently unique. And so we just ask it to convert it into a blog post. It's much easier to do so, and it has a much higher likelihood of being unique because it actually is created by human beings. That's what it is. So you can use whatever tools you want. We'll have a human being in that workflow. They will fact check the article. They will add links. They'll add more content to it. They'll add images to it. And at the end of the day, this is the type of output that you expect to get. And this is AI enhanced content. So this is taking the podcast or YouTube content that we're putting out, and it's using AI to make that content. So the AI will maybe do 60 to 70% of the work, and a human will cover the last mile. And this is what it looks like. When we look at the engagement metrics on this, the engagement metrics are even better than a completely human written piece. So when a human is enhanced by AI, that's what we call AI enhanced content. This is the type of output that we get. And the traffic is just going up and to the right for this. And that's what we see happening. This is a new power. You want to make sure that you control this power in an ethical way, and in a way, again, where you're benefiting humans, not just trying to spam the internet and trying to add a bunch of low quality content when there's already a lot of trash. And so if you can take this strategy and use it in a white hat way, you're going to be far ahead of your competitors because they probably aren't even touching this stuff right now. This is a good starting point. I think it's going to get more and more sophisticated. I think eventually we're going to be able to pull our Marketing School episodes, or we can pull these blog posts and just translate them into another language, and it'll be perfect. And then I can expand this website into different languages as well and capture more search market share, I should say. And so there's a lot of different things I'll be able to do. We're already doing interesting things, for example, with the Marketing School podcast, where we've dubbed Neil and myself into Spanish, and it's in our voice. It sounds pretty damn good. In a year or so, watch out. We're going to take all, 2,500 episodes we've done. We're going to take all of Neil's content, all of my content, and we're going to make a simple Marketing School assistant. And maybe we'll give it away for free, or maybe we'll charge $5 a month for it. And then this is a tutor that's going to help people at scale. And for people that are looking for more enterprise help, that's something we can always add as a call to action as well. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and the like button. Leave a comment below. Let me know how you're planning to approach PSEO, if at all, in the near future. Go ahead and check out this next video over here. It's going to help you grow from an SEO standpoint, and we will see you over there in the next video.